Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu, ayyuhan nas al-khabib. Peace be upon you in the mercy of Allah and His sanctification, O beloved people. Let's talk about mental laziness and then mental industriousness and then mental fortitude. The vast majority of people are mentally lazy. Everybody, though, has a degree of mental laziness. Just like everybody has a degree of mental industriousness, and everybody has a degree of mental fortitude. So, mental laziness would be not wanting to engage in certain discussions or certain topics or study certain things because for your mind, what you have accepted, because it's free will, you've already pre-assumed that it's too hard before even going into it, right? So mental laziness comes pre-packaged with a pre-assumption. Mental industriousness comes pre-packaged with faith, right? A pre-acceptance that this is possible and that it's achievable, doable, masterable, right? If you're going to use that word, because master just literally means to teach. So we're going to have to come up with a better word for that, you know? But mental industriousness leads to mental fortitude. Mental industriousness leads to mental fortitude. Now, someone may be lazy, mentally lazy when it comes to history, right? But they may be very mentally industrious when it comes to financial literacy. So they may not know much about history, but they are very knowledgeable in financial literacy, and now they're fortified in what they know. So now they have mental fortitude in financial literacy, right? So they're mentally fortified and mentally strong when it comes to financial literacy, but when it comes to history, pardon me on that. When it comes to history, right, they're mentally lazy because they have a mental pre-assumption, which makes them mentally weak in that regard. So, always remember to be well-rounded. You should be mentally industrious in all lanes of life. There's 12. There's 12 lanes of life. The 12 houses. I'll get into that in a different video. There's 12 houses, and you should endeavor to be well-rounded in all of them because all of them affect your life. There's no way that it doesn't. Let's take history, for example, and make it simple. You have a mother, you have a father. What you know about them is the history. It's part of your history. What you know or what you don't know about them affects you every single day. Like people who don't know who their father is, it affects them every single day. They're losing out on that connection, right? Or they don't know the history of their mother, or their mother may have passed when they were really young or during childbirth. They're missing that connection, right? So that knowledge, the more knowledge they have of their mother, the better or bigger their connection is, right, to the soul, because that's just the physical body, but the soul remains on, even though it's not in its conscious form, like some people say it when they're praying to their ancestors, or they're going to be. They're not talking to you. Anything you're talking to, that's a jinn. Because people don't even realize that, their parents or people who passed on or whatever, they never think that these people wouldn't have known these certain things, or that, they forget. They think that when they just go to these different places that, they know now. Okay, so if you go to China, you know about China now? Or you just visiting there? You're new to there. If I leave from America and I go to China, do I all of a sudden just know everything that's happening? in America? No. No, because they believe that their ancestors are down just looking at them, but they have no proof of that. New Age madness. From old age madness. There's conjecture. They have no knowledge of that. And it's actually false. We've been given the information from that. Once your soul leaves this vessel, it goes straight back to the Creator. The Creator is holding it in limbo until the day of judgment. That's it. So they're not conscious. They're not even conscious. Right? But the veil is so thin. That's what it says. The veil is so thin, it's like, it's timeless. It seems like the twinkling of an eye because you're outside of this frame of time work. So that can't be the issue. Right? And they believe that because they're mentally lazy. They don't want to go and do the actual study that it takes to learn what actually the spiritual realm is, what they call their spiritual realm, which is really the ethereal realm. Spiritus is breath. That's spiritual. That's where it begins. Mentality is where it ends. But beyond that, it's ethereal, meaning that's it. Right? It's of the energy of the Creator, and it goes even beyond your concept. It's just an energy that flows through everything that you have access to, that you can use part of it. So, since you know you can't understand it, you can only use it. When they go to the realm, that's, you put two and two together, because that's what you're supposed to do. It's lack of comprehension, but use. But they're not in control. So they're being used. They're not using. They don't have a body to use. Their consciousness is held shut. Why? Because it's beyond the realm of consciousness. Spirituality, right? Breath, air sign. What's air? Intellectualness. What's intellectuality? Intellectuality is the manifestation of the use of the mind, which is Allah. Right? Tawheed, right? All is one. That's the first law. All is mental. All is one. And one is all. The all in all, and all are in the all. The all is in all, and all are in the all. I mean, if you just study the Hermetic principles, you would get a lot of this stuff. Right? These are the principles of the universe, right? But you need to be what? Mentally industrious to take up that task. Most people are not mentally industrious. Most people are mentally lazy. Overall. Right? They need to put in those 10,000 hours of study, like I did and continuing to do. Right? There's things that I need to get more mentally strong on, and that's good because I have the drive to do it. I don't say, well, I'm weak in this area, so forget about it. No, that's weak, and I abhor weakness because I have Mercury conjunct Mars in Leo. No weakness for me. I'm not doing it. Can't do it. We're all weak to a degree, so don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that I'm the strongest man in the world or anything like that, or the most. I'm just saying, overall, I don't have a mindset that will accept weakness. I'm going to strengthen myself there, even if little by little. But yeah, that's what it's about. Mental fortitude is the goal. Mental fortitude. That aligns with the time, right? Mercury and Leo. Mental fortitude. Where do kings live in? Castles. What is a castle? A fort. Leo's what? The king of the what? Jungle. Right? That's what they say, the jungle. Here in America, Leo, the mountain lion, is the king of the mountains. Right? Which is more befitting, which makes our lion more regal than the Eastern Kushite lion. Or even the Asian lion. Right? If they still exist. Which they most likely probably do, and you just don't hear nothing about it. But yeah. We have a lion over here. It's called the mountain lion. And it is the most ferocious of all of the lions. So, may actually be the physically strongest of all of the lions. But, just maybe not the biggest. Who knows? Only Allah knows. Or those people who study and measure those things, they know. But yeah. I identify more with the mountain lion of America because I'm American and part Moorish European, so I'm gonna roll with the American lion over the Eastern Kushite lion because the American lion doesn't play any games. You get close to that, it's pretty much a wrap. You know, the Maasai men in Eastern Kush, those Kushite men, they'll go out there with the spears and stuff, and those big lions, they'll run away. Yeah, try that with the American mountain lion. That ain't gonna work. You probably need to shoot that in order to get rid of it. And I'm kind of the same way. Like, once I'm on something, you gotta take me out. You gotta transition me out of here, because I'm not getting off. You know, that's just what it is. You gotta take it there, because I'm not stopping. So that's mental fortitude for the day. Encouragement, stay strong. I don't like the weak in any regard. I only like the strong. Call me, and this the only black that I'll accept. Black Freezer. Reigning over you monkeys. Mentally lazy monkeys. But yeah, just a little humor for today. But yeah, that's it. Stay mentally fortified. And it's a lot easier during this time too, because the sun is trine Saturn, which is retrograde, which is a reassessment of how you've been structuring your life, especially these few couple of days that we have. You know, probably, like I said before, a week and a half, right? Because trine is a flow of energy that enhances both of the planets involved. So you have Sun, sense of purpose, Leo, regal. Then you have Saturn, right? Structure, discipline, in the sign of Aries, which is leadership, impulsiveness, aggressiveness, assertiveness, warfare, right? Strengthening yourself, ruled by Mars, right? Which is in Virgo. Check this. Which is ruled by Mercury, which is in Leo, which is ruled by the sun, which is in Leo. So it all comes circling back to the sun. Your regal sense of purpose. To stay mentally fortified. Right? Mercury and Leo. Mental fortification. Mentally fortified. It all aligns. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Ayyuhan nasu al-habib wada'an.